The Gadgeteer.
Well, he only had 8 hit points, so he's in pretty bad shape. The Gadgeteer is currently bleeding. Tempus, you're up again. You do not have your plus 2 AC.
Give up.
Oh, no,
unfortunately, the last guy you've left standing is the guy who's pretty goddamn determined to take down Tempus.
The drunk guy.
And is currently on fire.
Yes, he is currently on fire.
He has no more beard.
And he's pretty convinced that you're going to kill him anyway, so he's committed to this battle.
I'm gonna do a tumbling strike on him.
Alright.
Roll 1d20 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2? Escalation?
Yes, escalation is 2.
As long as you don't do that stealing
that
thing.
Is not enough to hit his armor class.
2 damage to you.
Let's try that again.
Okay. 1d20 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2.
That is not enough to hit his armor class.
Roll 1d20 plus 5.
That is enough to disengage.
Into the corner.
And go ahead and roll a save against your, that is a failure. The speaker attempts to go after Tempus.
No?
Accept.
Yay!
There you go. Hey! You get out of my way! This ain't involving you at all!
Well, now it does.
There you go.
That's it.
10 points of damage. That is
fire damage.
That is a natural odd hit. Isn't that right, Train? Natural odd hit. Thank you.
Train.
He takes the 10 points of damage. He is he's pretty fucked up.
Yep.
See here. 1d20. He does not save. He's going down next turn, whether he likes it or not. And as a matter of fact, I mean, like, you guys would want to put him down anyway, because he'd get to act first, and I don't think you guys need to make the attack rolls. He's pretty outnumbered. You can put him down.
Alright.
We put him down.
We put him down.
And put him out.
My first action, by the way, when combat ends, is to put the flaming dwarf out.
There you go. All of the dwarves currently lay bleeding and dying upon the ground.
We stabilize all of them and then nail them to a tree as a warning to all the others.
I was thinking stabilize them and just rest them under the
That's how you do things in Centacora, huh?
Alright, you can certainly stabilize their injuries. You caused them. And
no one wants to help Fargus.
Well, Fargus is just like stabilizing
I consider you part of the casualties, probably.
We'll say a few words.
Yeah, you caused this. You shot
Here lies Fargus.
You wake up and have the talk with them when they wake up as well.
That's right. So,
sweet, wow.
Wow, it's pretty high recovery. And for folks who use their recharge powers, I know that's Sheep used a recharge, and Tempus, because you used the ring, you will want to roll recharge rolls.
Okay. No.
No.
So do we take anything from them, or do we just...
No, we don't.
Just leave them there.
To the body.
Tempest will walk over to the speaker and look for the piece of paper and parchment.
You will readily find that. It has a fairly decent likeness of Tempus's face. And basically, it's like a sort of like an announcement that you'd find like on a posting, like a tavern that adventurers go through regularly. Basically, like advising that there is a 500 gold piece bounty placed for the capture, and that's highlighted, capture of one Tempus Malleator, known to be in the service of the Archmage and actively opposing the Dwarf King. Wanted for, it has like a listing of crimes, some which might be accurate, others which are totally falsified. And not legitimate at all.
Oh, come on.
And then
Cutting
like
a beard? I'd never cut a beard off.
And then the address is given. It's like one in Newport.
Tempest.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a child?
Yes, Tempest will hand over the piece of parchment. He'll actually look for another piece of parchment and some charcoal or something to write on.
If you want one, I have some.
Oh yeah, he'll happily accept that.
Liam reaches into his satchel, hands you some paper and some chalk.
And Tempest will scroll on it. 5 gold for your lovely attempt at the capture of one Tempest Malleator. and put 5 gold, fold up the piece of paper, and put it in an obvious spot on the dwarf soldier.
All right, you can do that. It is
And
Just
that
done.
takes
discourage
5 gold
them.
off.
You know, it's the way you be cautiously wanted.
So, how many of these crimes did you actually commit? Some of these are pretty, well, something.
Tempus will take off the form, and with the charcoal, he'll score off the ones that are obviously falsified. But he'll leave one that's noticeably silly and tick it. Probably the one along the lines of 17 dwarf-made pies from 17 different grandmothers. You know, it's one of the more sillier ones. He just couldn't help but smile at it. But he takes off.
Tempus.
He takes. He takes off like some broke out of the arena, escaped prison, known convict.
So yeah, it's worth noting that these crimes are actually limited more towards what Tempus has not done against the entirety of the Dwarven Empire and against the Dwarf King, but basically revolving around a particular merchant in Santa Cora.
Yeah. And it's just he scrolls around it, just saying the one thing that he's actually done is that bottle of rum. The rest he's kind of ticked for humor. And he hands it back to Thomas.
Theon will curiously look down and see if he recognizes any reports of these.
Yeah, would Thomas know something about that merchant? Is he known to be
Is he known to be a dick?
Yeah, is he known to be a dick or something?
Seeing as how you're a guard at some point in Santa Cora, you would have heard vague reports he's just a dwarven merchant who passes through. He deals in liquids, so he's a great job at supplying all of the numerous shrines and temples in Santa Cora for all of their religious needs. Doesn't really know anything about his personality, just that he's a fairly well-to-do type person who deals in Santa Cora and Newport and possibly other major cities as well.
Well, Thomas, I believe you were going to get some of this anyway. That's why you're here, right?
Not this particular kind.
So go ahead and copy yourselves, put yourselves on the world map. I will be removing you folks from the basic battle map in a minute.
Oh, give me a second. World map, right?
Yes, world map.
There we go.
Where you see the very slightly wounded Leon. Leon is disappointed. Part of his cloak is burnt. He needs to get a new one.
I'm trying to imagine how the recoveries work for me. So it's just a case of just open a hatch, fix a gear. There we go.
The recovery system is basically how hit points are in general. It's not your body is magically reconstituting itself. It's more along the lines of you realizing that the damage was not as bad as you thought. You know, bandaging the wounds, or in your case, perhaps tinkering with some things, and taking a breather to rest and recover. It's how a miss can still deal miss damage. Hit points is not you gutting someone apart with your greatsword or whatever, but it's just the lowering of morale, the harrying of an enemy.
The exhaustion, partially.
Yes, the exhaustion. All those things factor into hit points. Blood loss too.
Okay.
Of which, unfortunately, I believe Thomas has acted a great deal of.
Well, he's kind of tried to not do too much.
Yes. The
Keep on that.
the indomitable war axe hums confidently in Thomas's hands, although does remark that it would like to find more worthy opposition. Perhaps if there's some demons nearby, the war axe would be very much interested in that.
Thomas would agree that he would have rather fought demons than people who, in their own ways, want to keep up the law. And Thomas would also very much suggest to Tempus that although Thomas thinks that he's probably a good guy, he should probably make less enemies in the future.
Just saying.
But less justified enemies, at least.
Just saying, a lot of us seem to have made enemies. Looks around.
Making bandits or undead not like you is very different from making the local sheriff want you.
Well, less enemies in general might be useful. Although breaking the law is probably something that he should avoid too.
Yeah.
I'm curious, dude. You said the axe hums in any specific way, or is it just general hum?
It communicates
Shanty tune.
No, it does not have a jaunty tune. It just vibrates in Thomas's hands and speaks to him.
It would have been more amusing if it was playing a tune on the way.
That's right. That's where you are. Suck it.
CH.
That's right.
Che. You know, che.
Anyway, you continue north, but attempting to follow the map you found on one of the bandits. Unfortunately, the details are vague. It's not really a map, so much as like a crude series of like drawings and like reminders from this Maris guy to try to remember this location. And none of you are familiar with the region. As such, it's skill check time. You have two options. An intelligence-based skill check, as you attempt to decipher the chicken scratch and thieves' cant, or a wisdom-based skill check, as you search the environment for clues that may guide you towards your destination. Each of you can only attempt one thing, although if you think of another possible skill check, you're welcome to suggest it.
Alright,
Fargus.
Fargus has spent a lot of time wandering the wilderness and many areas alone, trying to decipher the landscape to figure out where you're supposed to go in the past. So he has had some experience with this.
Alright, I can see that as a viable background.
Yep. Would that be wisdom then?
Yes, I think that.
Yep.
I think wisdom is fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Gryph, you said you wanted to do something?
I am going to try Scholar of the Forge in this background. He's used to having to read obscure texts and try to figure out a meaning, reading through Dwarven texts, Elven texts, all these types in an attempt to read it. Surely he'd be used to trying to decipher a meaning in some obscure mention.
That's possible, but in this case, what this would be written in is actually like sort of like rogue speak, like an actual like sort of like thieves' language. Hence, thieves can't. Like rather than it being like a musty like dwarven or elven thing, it's actually just like, you know, thieves and bandits using the language of the trade with one another. In this case, himself, so that he can remember what this thing is. So I'm not sure how applicable Scholar of the Forge would be, because...
A Trickster of the Dice? Maybe.
Sure, I could see... Yeah, I could see that being viable with an intelligence-based skill check.
Right, okay. +2, +5. Because 2 intelligence modifier, 5 Trickster of the Dice.
Anyone else looking to attempt to do anything, or are we good with that?
Well...
Can propose something.
Bandits would clearly put their camp in a strategically important location, and maybe Thomas, with his, although limited knowledge of the region, maybe he can make an educated guess where such a camp might be.
Alright, I could
like,
see that.
There's a... I know there's a particular hill in this region that would make for an excellent spot for a camp.
I could see that using intelligence. What about your backgrounds?
Well, I would argue that Thomas's tactician background might work for that.
Sure, I actually agree with that. 100%.
So intelligence and the background?
Yes, intelligence and your background.
Alright, that would be no intelligence and all the background and my level. Oh, that's good.
Alright. Anyone else looking to handle anything?
I mean, Leon has spent a lot of time researching various things, and while specifically, the knowledge of thieves is not something that comes up a lot. Occasionally he needs to try deciphering messages that are very difficult to read, and for whatever reason, possibly people trying to hide it with whatever ways they have. So maybe Leon has some skill in trying to decipher what's written. Maybe not.
What's your value for that background?
4.
I would allow you to apply half of that.
Okay.
Okay. And Manaki the wizard's just gonna grumble about trees, right?
Yeah, let's just do intelligence.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright. And that's not even adding your level either.
That's true, I should have added my level.
That's right. Through arduous hours of deciphering script, following footprints, and some disagreeing opinions, like with Tempus, you encounter nightfall without having found the locale. Good news, you think you can find it early tomorrow. Better news, you found a great campsite for the night, a lovely cove along Fullcatch Bay. In this sheltered spot, you could even have a fire without being spotted. Like, this was sort of the hard-to-access location that you just managed to stumble across due to your amazing dice rolls and knowledge of the area.
Are there any
And
signs?
clearly, Sheep, our tactician, helped.
Are there any signs of other people being here recently?
No, not at all.
We could move in.
Make it a
Stay
nice
here
house.
for 4 years.
Well,
I've always
that's
wanted
lucky.
how the dwarven people live.
a nice rest.
Yeah.
Seaside cave.
Yep.
So much so that although I know you folks will keep watch, there's no need for dice rolls. Nothing will end up disturbing you during the night. If you wanted to handle anything roleplay-wise before you proceed further, you're more than welcome to take however much time you would like. You're the ones writing the story here. I'm just along for the ride.
Remember where Leon's found to lay
I would
down.
want to talk about what kind of, like, if we do end up finding like a bandit group or something, what's our approach? Just attack them outright? Or, because the other times we kind of not really had much of an idea, a sort of united approach. Maybe we should this time at least have an idea of what we're going to do before we go there.
I agree.
They've kind of attacked us, but now we kind of have the initiative, so.
Well, it
Especially look to
depends.
Tempus for this.
It depends on what we find, Thomas would suggest. If it's a small camp of a couple bandits, then perhaps just wiping them out might be for the best. But if there's too many, then, well, we might have to decide on the spot. There's an
Attacking
army
and
of
retreating?
bandits. Sorry, what?
Attacking and retreating, or
If hit and run becomes necessary.
Well, we don't know what kind of location it is. It might be a camp of tent, it might be a cave, it might be, I don't know, boat. I have no idea.
Our primary objective is information, so wiping the bandits out would be a bonus, but I would suggest that we try everything we can to just find out what's going on. Maybe even find out the identity and the ambitions of this whispering Ravenger if we can.
yeah,
Well, you do have your invisibility cloak.
I do.
You could sneak in and try to listen to what they're talking about.
Sort of, I could. All depends if they have like some sort of like encampment or wall or
Yeah.
palisade or whatever.
Yeah, it does. Well, we just have to see them,
Well, it's alright. Just wanted to bring it up.
of course.
And we'll rest.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll actually go ahead and make a new map available to you folks. I will copy your tokens myself, and you folks will not be moving your tokens until I say otherwise. Or I will do bad things, because I'm a bad person. You should be able to switch to the map now. It should be at the top of your list called Bandit Hideout ?
Bandit hideout?
Yes, hideout? Yes, it may take some time for you folks to load. That's perfectly fine. It's a necessary step.
There should be an
41 of
exclamation
those.
mark at the end too, so it would be bandit hideout?
So how did Guild 2 come
Wouldn't that
into
be
this?
like bandit hideout? As in a surprised.
Yes. And as a warning in advance, this is the first time I've done this in several months. I put vision blocking layers on this map, and I am pretty much on immediate response time for Java to pop up warnings about my vision blocking layers, so that I will erase the vision blocking layers. But for now, we're gonna steer with these, see if B91 can handle it, and we'll see where we go.
I've used vision blocking layers quite a bit, and I've never had them break, even though everyone is telling me how buggy they are supposed to be.
I've had extensive problems with people breaking it. It almost depends like apart like how many you end up using. I've used like so many intricate designs with them, and that would be a situation where Roll20 and its dynamic lighting actually has a step up over MapTool, because you can use a lot of dynamic lighting and vision on Roll20 without this thing breaking.
Yeah, I do know in MapTools, because the way it renders it, the most efficient way is basically if you can do the vision blocking layer in one like fluid drawing, it's the best. That's not always easy.
At any rate, the
I'm still downloading it, by the way. Just to say.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, I'm sure you all are. That's fine, as I noted. That's just going to description. We're getting the process of loading done now, so that you can save some time. At any rate, what you folks leaving the camp that you've made in your sheltered cove, it's no trouble at all. And you begin the process of carefully trekking towards where you've pinpointed the location of this hideout, doing your best with the several high rolls you've gotten to cover your tracks along the way. You don't exactly know how well traveled this way might end up being, but it seems fairly reasonable that if there is bandit activity about here, that you'll want to make sure to disguise your prints as much as possible. You end up approaching what ends up being a large structure, sort of right on the coast of Fullcatch Bay itself. It's a large log building, wood all over. It's got a slanted roof, and there's holes on either side, small holes, basically to let smoke pour out, because in the old days, especially with wooden buildings, they didn't have chimneys attached. Instead, they had holes in the sides of, like, right below the roofs to allow smoke from fires to come pouring out. A large wooden structure, shrouded a bit in the trees, but it's quite so large and so seemingly out of place, especially on the coast, since you haven't really encountered like any sort of like structures right on the coast, that it sticks out for that. And you also, although you are some distance away from it, when you do load up the map, you're actually closer than how close you actually are. You spot a few bandit patrols who are circling the building in groups of 2 at regular intervals, so much so that at any one time 3 corners are watched along the building, and a 4th one is devoid of guards. The building, especially in the early afternoon sun, maybe it's like 1 p.m. now, is fairly intimidating. Maybe not so much by the 6 guards in total who appear to be circling outside, but mainly for its size. It's a pretty fucking big structure. It's only 1 story, but just the sheer amount of, like, land it covers is pretty big. Maybe at one point it was like a hunting lodge of some sorts. Maybe like some noble came out here with a group to, like, hunt for a bit. You can't exactly say, and there's no evidence to suggest on the outside what the building might have been used for, other than those thick logs. At your current distance, I've given you some basic descriptions, and when you do load up the map, as I know Dark has, you'll be able to see basic details. To do anything more, though, like getting closer, trying to discover more, then you'll have to perform skill checks. The information that I've given you, and the information you'll see on the map when you load it up, will be as far as you know. That there is is the symbol I'm using for a large wooden door.
Okay.
So yes, that grayish object there, that's the sort of our map symbol here for a door.
Okay. So, building's like approximately that. Okay.
Does anyone have a grappling hook?
Time for that rope we talked about ages ago!
And, to show you a bit, since I know Dark loaded it, there's guards over here, 2 of them. They rotate down to this corner. Those guys that you see at the right, they move upwards. And there only appears to be those 3 groups of 2, so they keep a corner vacant. In this case, it's that corner that's vacant, right there.
So they move in...
Anti-clockwise?
They move counterclockwise.
Oh. Well, we can just ambush all of them in the corner then, because they won't see the their fallen comrades if we
Well,
do
how-
it quietly.
Well, how much time is between their patrols? Because we have to kill them before they're here and before the next ones arrive.
Yeah, we have to do it very quietly.
They do a slow walk, and considering the length of the building, they're fairly perceptive and observant of their surroundings, looking around. But it does take, especially for this length here, vertical length, I'd say 2 minutes for this length up and down, and then 1 minute for this length left to right. It's a slow walk. Not that slow. It's a fairly decently paced walk.
So if we stand like right here and just wait until they come around the corner and attack them here.
But
Well, we
it's
have
not
to-
quite at all.
So you would all have to make dexterity-based skill checks to remain hidden in that case, if you want them to like get closer to you without noticing.
Well, I'd have +4. I have
Can
no-
we see this side sort of by going sort of this way and looking?
Sure,
Around?
you most certainly could. I could show you
So-
that,
so that
even
we
though
can-
you wouldn't be getting that close. In which case,
I want to see how many doors.
see, I'll go ahead and just
Oh,
move a representative token there and reveal vision in that case. And then I can have you circle around the entire building, although it will take like an extra hour, so it'll be like 2 p.m.
That's probably good to know.
And there
Alright,
only
so there's
appears to
only
be
one door.
door. Yep.
By the way, is there a reason why we are doing this midday instead of doing like a proper infiltration at night?
It's easier for us to see.
It's
Well,
just
you're
when
scouting it out right now.
It's just when you've arrived.
So,
But I mean, let's think about the stealthy approach. What are we gonna gain from that? We're gonna get.
Get inside, so we have to
surprise.
fight our way out.
But I mean, we're here to kill them, right?
Also, there's only one entrance?
There's only one entrance.
There might be like an underground one, but with the water so near it, like
Yeah, strangely, the entrance
that'd be
is
very hard.
the entrance is right on the water. Which is,
Yeah, so it's wide
but-
on the waterfront.
As well, if they had a basement, wouldn't it be like filled up? Unless they had like cement or something. So
maybe.
in that way,
it feels
it
like
seems
this is
fairly certain that they only have one entrance and exit. So we block that one and stick the house on fire.
I mean,
The Vikings used to do it.
there might be something in
or-
there.
yeah, we're here for information and not
Yeah.
for arsenry.
That tactic was used plenty of times, probably not with a water source, like literally right next to the place you're setting
No,
on
like
fire.
we'd block the door.
Like, I do know I have fire spells, but
A fire ritual, block door. You know,
We could set the fire as a
Work something
distraction, though.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
would
just an
suggest we somehow think of a really good distraction that makes them all leave, and then we go inside, look around, and leave again. But
What?
That's
That's
probably too
never
obvious.
gonna work.
I know, right? But it's an idea.
Yeah,
Why don't you want to kill
just a
them?
distraction to
They're
separate.
bandits.
Maybe.
I mean,
Well,
the idea
yeah,
the idea
we want to kill them, but we need
distraction
to find
could
out
be
what's going
Gryph
on.
with a bottle of wine.
well, one idea I suppose could be like make a small smoke go out in the forest to see if they go out to check on it.
Yeah, they're just gonna send a small party.
Yeah,
But then-
so do they take it out the guards on the outside, or do they send people from the inside out to do it? Because if they send people from the inside out to do it, do we kill those?
I don't know, but no matter what, they'll be on watch after that.
We could also
Yeah.
do the good old, hey, we're the bandit patrol that you send out, and we're coming back now.
Ah,
But
like
that's
bandit
going to be
patrol, that's for
difficult.
certain.
They will never believe us.
In the
They-
meantime, I became a wizard. And a dwarf.
I mean, every bandit that you've seen thus far has been human.
Yeah. So
You know-
you guys.
You put your cloak of invisibility up.
I mean, I suppose we could send in Thomas alone to do the. But
Thomas!
I'd rather have him near me.
We're
really,
all
when
humans.
Things go down.
We only have one odd dwarf.
You want me to sit out here under a tree and wait?
You have the cloak of
I can.
invisibility.
I can
It'll be
do
fine.
that. It's
you
okay. I can do
go
that.
in alone, invisible. Just check it out.
Its invisibility only lasts 5 minutes though, so everyone is
Oh,
going
well.
all the way
Would
in.
that get
Yeah.
me to the door to look in and then away again?
You
I
would
mean,
have
door-
to, you would have to open the door.
Which
Would attract
is
attention.
not as easy as pushing it with my foot.
Probably attract attention.
No, no. It's a pretty large one. You'd have to
I
pull it out.
couldn't. Damn it. Door's too big.
Manaki, acid arrow ritual through the wall.
How exactly do these walls look like? Are they like palisades or just like fences?
No.
Walls, right?
These are the walls of a building. This is a building.
Think like Norse,
Is it
like
all of
Norwegian
this?
log cabin.
All of this is one building.
Pretty damn huge.
Yes,
Hence?
it is. that was the description of the value of it. This is a big fucking building.
Yeah, I thought it was like a wall with sort of buildings
No,
to the side
It seemed to
wall and stuff
be
like that.
what sort of roof is it?
It's a there's a slant to it, and it has like
straw roof or
I actually hadn't given that consideration. I'm not sure
that
what would be.
burns really really well.
I'm not
Oh,
sure what would
okay.
be thematically applicable. I do not think it would be a thatched roof. No, it's one that has it's one that's definitely wooden in nature though, and it has those holes at the tops of each of the walls to allow smoke to pour out of the building.
All right, so still wooden.
It's
Yes.
probably a logged roof.
Yes.
So this is like a here to stay high quality wooden mansion, basically.
Log cabin mansion.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a really fucking big, and the walls of it look pretty fucking high quality. Like someone a long time ago built this, a lot of people, and they put time, quality, and care into it.
Like, come on, imagine if someone's taken a log cabin and enlarged it like 50 times.